Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we'll be focusing on hobbies, the introduction to hobbies and types of hobbies. A hobby is a leisure time activity in which interest is enjoyed over a length of time. Basically, a hobby is an individual recreation pursuit which permits the hobbyist to start and stop when he or she chooses. It can and often does lead the hobbyist into group participation. Hobbies are an encouraged byproduct of leisure education because they are lifelong leisure skills chosen because of their natural integration into the individual lifestyle. A person chooses a hobby for its ability to satisfy unique personal needs. Whether those needs are physical or mental development, recognition, monetary gain or others. One individual might choose photography as a form of self-expression, while another is attracted by its potential for profit making. A hobby's appropriateness for an individual is largely related to how the nature of the activity is agreeable to that of the individual's personality. Let us now discuss the values of hobby. Hobbyists, that is the person engaged in the hobby, do not become dependent on the local leisure service agency to program their free time hours. The possession of a hobby acknowledges people's ability to pursue a self-directed leisure activity over an extended period without any agency dependency. In the true essence of leisure education, the leisure services agencies becomes a resources for hobbyists rather than a filler of frenzied leisure hours. Therefore, recreation agencies are encouraged to schedule hobby fairs or exhibits that educate the public to the variety of hobbies they can choose from. A hobby provides ways in which an individual's social and psychological needs are met. The real value of a hobby depends to a large extent on how well these needs are met and how much satisfaction are gained through participations. Hobbies are a means of relaxation, but they can also help alleviate boredom. They can provide opportunity for creative expression as well as knowledge and learning skills. Above all, hobbies can lead to social acceptance and recognition and can enhance the joy of living. Let us now put some light on the objectives of pursuing hobbies. First is, enjoyment should be a high priority objective. The fun people have when participating in an event, activity or contest is reason enough to establish the program. Second, release of tension associated with the pressures of life is another important objective, and perception serves to enhance mental and emotional health. Pursuing activity as a hobby provides an important carryover value. Interests and skills developed in these programs will positively influence the future leisure time activities. Next is, skill development is another important outcome for many participants. Through such activities, hobbyists can attain a higher level of skill which will be of value to them throughout their lives and assist them in enjoying activities more. Vigorous activities as hobby assist the young and old alike in attaining and maintaining satisfactory levels of physical fitness. A good program will provide non-competitive as well as competitive experiences. Next is Socialization and teamwork experiences are two additional goals that can be reached through hobbies. A chance is provided to the participant to meet and interact with others in an enjoyable and meaningful way. Let us now look at the important characteristics of hobbies. First one, activity voluntarily chosen. The choice of the activity of involvement is voluntary, free of compulsion or obligation. However, one should also accept the fact that once one has entered into an activity, one has to accept a set of obligations to the other members of the team or group. Secondly, mostly carried within one's leisure time. Hobby is widely regarded as activities including physical, mental, social or emotional involvement as contrasted with sheer idleness or complete rest. It provides important values, pleasure and satisfaction prompted by internal motivation and the desire to achieve personal satisfaction rather than by extrinsic goals or rewards. It is evident that people can use leisure time constructively or destructively. One of the basic aim of hobbies activities and recreational program is to teach the wise use of leisure time. People should be made aware of the vital place that wholesome recreation can play in the full enjoyment of life. Now we will be looking at the classification and the types of hobbies. The range and variety of hobbies are as broad as human interest. Fundamentally, hobbies have been classified or typed into four major categories. Some examples of the various types of hobbies are listed below. First is collecting hobbies. Collecting is a natural habit for many people, and the two most popular collection hobbies are collection of stamps and antiques. Collecting hobbies are almost unlimited in scope and include coins, books, clocks, dolls, autograph, seashells, pebble stones, etc. Historic relics are one of the most favorite among collectors. Second is creative hobbies. People have a great urge to create, construct or make. People's desire to create has been largely met by painting, writing, composing, inventing, designing and making objects of various types and kinds. Hobbies constitute one of the most effective ways to satisfy human creative urge. The third form would be educational hobbies. This large variety of activity involves the acquisition of knowledge and the learning of new skills. Two of the most sought after rewards of educational hobbies are adventure and exploring. Quite often, an educational hobby will also involve collecting books. They may include academic subjects, art, music, interior decorating, etc. The last form of hobbies are performing hobbies. Performing hobbies are based on the use of skills and have enjoyed spectacular popularity since the cultural and arts explosion began in the 1950s. Many people receive satisfaction from performing for others. Few examples of performing hobbies may include camping and hiking, games and sports, fishing, acting, folk dancing, cooking, and many more. Let us now look at selection of hobby. In selecting a hobby, the individual considers a number of factors including the space, equipment, time, local resources, money, skill, and level of social contact needed to pursue it. For example, having limited money and space might reduce the feasibility of antique collecting as a hobby. No hobby should be forced on an individual. However, it is desirable for recreators and their agencies to offer both motivation and leadership to those with hobbies. Most of the leadership is applied indirectly, although hobby clubs and shows can be sponsored by an agency. The selection and enjoyment of a hobby is often determined by a number of factors. The common factors include the following: space needed, the time available, availability of money, interest of the activity, enjoyment level gained, cooperation of other people needed, acceptability of the hobby, skills required, and materials needed. To conclude, there are countless hobbies that can be conveniently categorized into creative, educational, collecting, or performing hobbies. Creative hobbies involve the personal creation of art or utilitarian objects. Educational hobbies involve the investigation of information and learning of materials. In the collecting hobby, the hobbyist is absorbed in gathering items of interest. In performing hobby, the individual is engaged in an activity that involves some physical performance. Hobbyists quite often are interested in more than one hobby. For example, an interest in an art may not only take the form of creating through painting, but also may entail studying the mixing of colors, collecting postal card size reproductions of artistic work, and studying the style of eminent artists by visiting museums, exhibits, and doing research on the subject. Hobbies are often mistakenly viewed as activities for shut-ins or outs for individuals in the privacy of their attics. On the contrary, hobbies can be active and group-oriented. Such examples being gardening, camping, travels, dramatics, and folk dancing. The development of common hobbies among family members increases family cohesiveness. Hobbies should be seen as leisure time involvement that helps to enrich one's personality by balancing work, study, and self-maintenance activities with other kind of creative experience and self-expression. Today, pursuing one's hobby is seen as fully justified in its own right, existing side by side with work as part of holistic life framework, contributing both to the quality of daily living and to the physical and mental health of the participant. Constructive, creative, and challenging leisure activity contribute not only to one's happiness but also to one's competence and effective functioning in a variety of spheres including work, family, and community. Thank you.